motorcycle. I think this is one of the coolest looking motorcycle currently in the Indian market. Between the rev limits of 3000 to 5000, that is where you can see the full potential of this motorcycle. So this is basically for somebody who is an urban user who likes to commute every single day to office. Wow, and welcome back to Weekend on Wheels, and I'm Girish. The word ADV has been around in the motorcycle industry for a while, and that's why a lot of motorcycle companies have been launching their adventure motorcycle like this. So Yezdi not too while ago launched their ADV, which is the Yezdi Adventure. Now, apart from ADV, what else? So there's another particular very interesting category, and that would be the Scrambler. And today I'm going to talk about the Yezdi Scrambler and going to review it in detail. So let's talk about the Yezdi motorcycle and tell you more about how good or bad is this Scrambler, and we will come right after this intro video. So welcome back to my channel. So today we have the all new Yezdi Scrambler and also the Yezdi Adventure. I've already done a detailed video on the Yezdi Adventure. You can check out the link on the top to watch that video. But today we are going to talk about the Yezdi Scrambler. So this has been around for a couple of months now, and I have been waiting to ride one of these and tell you more about this particular motorcycle. So let's start with the basic info of this motorcycle. So this is the same platform, or in terms of engine, it's the same engine as Adventure. So it comes with 334 cc engine, which is powered with 29 horsepower, 29.1 horsepower at around 8000 rpm, and also 28.2 newton meter torque, about 6500 rpm. So that's about the spec. It's a single cylinder liquid cooled 4-stroke engine, which is mated with 6-speed gearbox. And now coming on to the front end. So if you look at the wheel, so it gets a dual purpose tire. So if you see here, it's for both road and trail, dual purpose tire. So it gets a 19-inch wheel on the front as against a 21-inch wheel on the Adventure, and it gets the 17-inch wheel on the rear, which is the same as the Adventure. So that's the difference in terms of wheel. And now talking about the weight. So this one is about 6 kgs lighter than the Adventure, and also 60 mm shorter compared to the Adventure in terms of length. So that is the advantage on this particular motorcycle. So gets 6 kg lighter and 60 mm shorter in length. And another thing is that gets a single exhaust, where against you get here a dual exhaust system. Front you get a 320 mm disc brake, and also on the rear you have the 240 mm disc brake. So here you have the radiator, and then on the bottom you have the coolant, which is kind of interesting. I don't know why or what's the reason behind it. I'm sure they know why they're done. Coming on to the headlight, gets a very neat retro looking round headlight with the Yezdi branding here. And then you have these small indicators. I'm not a big fan of these small indicators. They could have made it better, but then it goes in the overall design perspective of the motorcycle. Now coming on to the front end side as usual. So let's have a look at the Odo console. It says hi. So you have a lot of stuff going on here currently. So you have the speedometer here, you have the kilometer range here, you have the gear indicator, you have the fuel gauge, you have time here. Then you have side stand mentioned here, and which mode currently the motorcycle is. So whether it's on off-road mode, whether it's on road mode, or it's on the rain mode. So this gets 3 different modes to ride, and then you have all the indicators here, the ABS, right, left indicator, neutral, all of them. So this is the Odo cluster. Coming on to your left hand side, you have a lot of stuff going on here. So starting from here, you have the pass button for indicator, then you have the indicator right, left, horn button, and this is the joggle button or the menu button where you can change a lot of stuff here. So if you hold this for a while, you can change the road mode to off-road or rain mode. Similarly, you have a lot of stuff that you can do. I'll do a separate video on that. On your right hand side, you have kill on and kill off switch, you have the hazard button, and then you have the power on button. And now coming on to the tank bit. So this is a smaller tank compared to the Adventure. Adventure gets about 15.5 liter tank, as against this is a 12.5 liter tank. And it gets a beautiful single seat, where against Adventure has a split seat. I love both the motorcycle. I've done a lot of stuff on the Adventure. So today the plan is to do similarly, test this and tell you more about the characteristics of this motorcycle. Now coming on to the rear end, you get a good grab rail here, a very nice comfortable grab rail, and then you have again LED lights, very small LED lights. This could have been a little bigger, what I think, because if you are plan to do a night ride, that can help you. And this is again the similar as the front, and then you have a nice small little Scari guard on the side. It gets a much bigger profile tire. So this gets about 140 70 17 portfolio, which is much broader than the one in the Adventure. So this is the 360 degree look of the all new Yezdi Scrambler. So far I am in love with the looks of this motorcycle. I think this is one of the coolest looking motorcycle currently in the Indian market when it comes to 300cc motorcycle. And a lot of time when you look at it, you just stand admiring the motorcycle. Look at that beauty. It's such a lovely looking motorcycle. Now let's talk about the riding position. So this gets a very good upright handlebar. The riding position is very comfortable, very upright. So let's now get onto the motorcycle. Let's talk about what this can do when it comes to trail, how this performs and all of it. And also let's take it on the road and tell you how this performs on the road. So this is basically for somebody who is an urban user who likes to commute every single day to office on his motorcycle, that is from Monday to Friday, and likes to just enjoy and go around places on the weekends, or probably do a small trail on the weekends. So this is the absolute right motorcycle that you can look at. But somebody who is a little more adventurous than this, they can always look at the Adventure, which is another fantastic motorcycle. So now let's get on to this and tell you more about this motorcycle. So now it's time to ride this and tell you how this does on trails like this. You can see what he's got right in front of me. So we are going to do the trail and tell you how this motorcycle performs, and also then we will ride this on the highway and tell you how this is going to perform. So from the riding perspective, riding stance perspective, this is quite good. You can easily saddle, and the best part is this is quite tractable and easily goes on these kind of roads. Very comfortable. Wow, good. It can easily take on to such bad roads without a problem. And you need to saddle on this, and somebody like my height will enjoy saddling on this. It's got very comfortable riding position and saddling position as well. So saddling on such terrains is not a problem at all. And the 200 mm ground clearance come into action now. So check this out. On soft roading like this is where this motorcycle shines. The dual purpose tire works very good, and the motorcycle just shines in these conditions. And doing such trail is not at all a problem. You just saddle on this motorcycle and start riding. Wow. So currently I'm on the off-road mode, and the braking completely changes when you're on the off-road mode when you're riding. The only one problem I see in this motorcycle is every time you turn off and turn on, check this out, this goes back to road mode. So the issue is, if you're around this terrain, every time you have to, if you stop, you have to go back and change it to off-road mode. The plus point is that imagine you finish off-road mode, you stopped, you're getting on the main road highway, and you've switched off. You need not think about, okay, is it in off-road or road mode. It will by default go on to the road mode, which is the best part. So let's get down and tell you a little bit about this. So far I think this does a very good, gestable bad road conditions. I will not want to say off-road conditions, bad road or trails like what you've seen. This is comfortable in riding in those areas. The dual purpose tire does a very good job. The good 200 mm ground clearance comes into action a lot of time. Because of the short suspension travel, you will not be able to do as much adventure as you can do on the Yezdi Adventure compared to this. And the rear suspension is quite okay for my kind of weight and height, but somebody who's taller might find it a little more harder and getting the entire pressure coming onto the rear. That's manageable. You get 2 preload setting which you can change and do. So we are almost done with the off-road bit. So quite an interesting motorcycle, quite easy to ride, and you will enjoy riding on this. So now let's get onto the highway. I'll see you when I'm back on the highway. Now let's ride this motorcycle on the road and tell you how good is this on the road conditions. So I have put this on road mode. So like you know, there are 3 different ride modes, rain, road and off-road. So currently it's in road mode. This has got a good range between the 4th and the 6th gear, so you see a good power coming in at those gears. And also it's good, it's tractable. If you see, I'm on the 4th gear and I'm still able to do low speed, so it's got a good tractable also. And very easy to maneuver, so especially in such road condition where you have a lot of traffic puttering around, the traffic should not be an issue at all. You can easily maneuver in and around the traffic. What you really like about this is the peppiness that this motorcycle gives you, unlike the Adventure one. So the Yezdi Adventure is quite good when you do bad roads, or you know, when you're doing terrains and everything. And in road you would love this more compared to the Adventure, but not too sure how comfortable this would be if you want to do touring. So let's ride this for a couple of more kilometers and tell you. The suspension feels slightly stiffer. You have about 2 different preloads which you can adjust to get a proper bounce. And from the sitting position, this is a very good upright sitting position, and you have a very comfortable stance when you sit. So riding for too long should not be an issue. And also talking about the braking is quite good. The dual channel ABS is quite sharp and does the job very well. And where this particular motorcycle shines is between the rev limits of 3000 to 5000. That is where you can see the full potential of this motorcycle. You will love to be in that sweet spot between the 3000 to 5000 RPM, and this motorcycle would be a dream to ride between those rev limits. Once it crosses above 6000, the engine gets a little louder, and it's a high revving engine, so it gets a little louder. So the ideal sweet spot would be anything between 3000 to maybe max 5500 RPM. That would be a very, very good rev limiting. I love the sitting position. I just love the sitting position. It's so good, it's so comfortable, it's so easy to ride. Yeah, this motorcycle is so easy to ride, and especially if you're a newcomer, first time buying a motorcycle, not too sure if you can handle the 334cc motorcycle, you could definitely look into this. This is a very, very easy motorcycle to ride, and even it favors the rider in every manner, right from the riding position to the handlebar, the way it has been designed, the height of the handlebar, all of them. So I am 5'7". For me it's absolutely comfortable. If you're anything above 5'11", like who's kind of tall, please comment below and tell if you've ridden this bike, and do you feel the same in terms of the riding comfort, in terms of the handle and all of it. For me it's absolutely comfortable. So average Indian height would be around 5'8", 5'6" to 5'8". So anybody between that height will enjoy this motorcycle completely. So again, the brake and everything changes, the parameters of the braking changes as and when you change the ride mode. So currently if you see, it says road mode. It's very minuscule, you can't really see in the camera, but then yeah, currently it's in road mode. So whenever you want, depending upon the road condition, so if it's during rainy season, you would want to switch to rain, and then similarly when you're doing trails, let's not consider as the off-road, the pure meaning of off-road. When you're doing trails, you can switch to trails and kind of ride in that. So the minute you go to off-road mode, it becomes more like a switchable ABS. The rear ABS is slightly flexible that time, allowing you to do a little more stuff on those trail conditions to enjoy more, as against when it comes to the road condition, the ABS acts a slightly different pattern. So that's where the difference is. So overall this is a quite joyful motorcycle to ride.